What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at Bloodstorm, first of the Strange Tales wave to arrive. I'm excited to get into this wave, so let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at Bloodstorm. Let's see what we've got going on. As I said, this is my first arrival for the Strange Tales wave. A wave I'm excited about. I like the idea. I hope that we get some more Strange Tales waves. I would say that I think everything in this wave wasn't exactly what I expected. And when the wave was initially teased, announced, etc., kind of like a hodgepodge of characters, and maybe some that I wish were in this, but I gotta say, I like the weird stuff that is in this wave, so I am hopeful that I'm gonna enjoy this entire wave. Bloodstorm, probably the one lowest on the list of figures that I really wanted, but I'm looking at this figure and I'm liking what I'm seeing, so let's take a look here. So we've got the Strange Tales wave, newer packaging, right? So the 85th anniversary, the individual figures were in this sort of squared off packaging. This is, I am assuming, the way we're going forward, right? Our first two waves of this year were in that packaging that we have been accustomed to for some years now. So maybe it was time for a little bit of a shake up, a little change, right? Coming out of the windowless packaging too. So I like it. You got the background there, gives you a nice little color splash. Your Build-A-Figure's Blackheart, flip it to the side. There's a nice looking image there. Very cool looking. Flip it to the back. You've got that image again. There's your entire wave. That's what you need to complete Blackheart. Bloodstorm, a mutant and proficient thief, Aurora Monroe, was targeted by Dracula and transformed into a vampire known as Bloodstorm. Alright. Important information down at the bottom. Flip it to this side. We've got the name. There's that picture again. But let's get her out of the box. Fresh out of the box, this figure has a very cool, like, late 90s, early 2000s goth vampire aesthetic, right? Full disclosure, like, I am not familiar with this run. This is a little bit after, like, the core era that I really enjoy from comics. But this is also the type of figure that piques the interest, right? So I'll go check out some things, you know, read up on it. I like the Dracula backstory to the tie-in, so I'm definitely curious in learning more about this whole era, right? She's got great expression on this head sculpt. You get an extra head sculpt, so I like the options there. Got some hand choices. Some that we've seen before that I wish we would just, you know, start to get new hands, but that's okay. I mean, we've got options, right? And I don't even think I'll bother with these. Looking at these from afar, they look like the hands I'll go with, but of course we'll take a closer look. Moving in closer, we can get a really nice look at this first face sculpt. Just a great expression. I mean, if you were to tell me, hey, we're turning Storm into a vampire, what might that look like? I think this is exactly what I would come up with, right? Like, it's got that great Mohawk version of Storm, but with the vampire look. You've got the teeth, the red eyes, just that growl going on, so that looks great. Leather jacket comes off really well. You've even got the zippers, buttons, and pocket zippers painted on, so adding that detail is one of those things that can get lost sometimes on Legends, right? They just kind of don't do it, and I'm glad that they did, because it's a small thing, but it does add that little bit of pop. Belt looks good. You've got the X symbol there, painted really nice in color, stands out amongst all of the darker color tones here. Belt buckle's painted on as well. Belt is a separate piece. Pants and boots look good. You've got a lot of good things going on, and I'm really liking the aesthetic of this figure alone. Your alternate head gives you more of a neutral expression, but still equally creepy and cool looking at the same time. I definitely prefer the first head sculpt. That's absolutely the one I'll be going with. But I am always a fan of when they give you the neutral expression and the exaggerated expression, or just any expression for that matter. So, like having the options there. For your first set of hands, you do get these open hands. I think these will be the ones I end up using for her in the display. And you get an alternate set of open hands, some that we've seen before. They work fine for this figure. I am just looking forward to getting some new hands for these female figures. For your articulation, she will look down pretty far. I mean, you're gonna get the weird sort of look at the back of the neck, but the chin will touch the chest. She will look up all the way. Again, getting sort of that weird look. So I know a lot of people will have some issue with that, but I'm good here. Head does move all the way around, so you get plenty of motion, rock side to side, everything. You can get it to go all the way around. The hair does sort of stop you right there, but it's pliable enough that it will move out of the way if you so want it to do so. Arms will go all the way around. They will go up and out to there, so you get a good amount of angle going upward. You do not have an upper bicep cut, and you are single jointed at the elbow. So I feel like this is going to be a point of contention for a lot of people in 2024. That is the case for these arms. The leather jacket, though, it gives it such a good look. Like aesthetically, this is a good looking figure, but I get that, right? Upper torso, so you'd have all that range there, and you do get your cut down at the hip swivel there. So I like that added option. A lot of times you don't get both, so I do like that we have 2 points of articulation for the torso, even if it is sort of like an older hip swivel type deal. Leg will kick out to about there, back only to about there, and then up and out to there. You do have your upper thigh cut, double jointed on pins at the knee, and that pin is definitely a little on the weak side. You can see it starting to stress already right there. So another thing you don't love to see. Nothing at the boot, even though you feel like there would be a boot cut, since there is a boot there, and then hinge and swivel down at the ankle. Your wrists also have their hinge. While it may have some areas that could certainly use improvement for the articulation, the figure is still a great looking figure. So for somebody like me, in a character like this, I think it's fine. It's going to serve its purpose, right? Like, I don't really have a place for this figure in the display. I have like a random sort of like mystical creature shelf, right? So I imagine some part of that shelf is where this is going to go, and then take it from there. But being that she is a vampire, I can imagine people want to do a little bit more dynamic displays for her in their collections. So I mean, I can certainly see how there could be a lot of criticism for some choices on this figure, but aesthetically, she's great. For your size comparison, here she is backed up against the Deluxe Black Widow. You can see she has some height on Black Widow. She is in boots that have heels, so that certainly adds to any bit of height. But I think even still without those, she would take a slight advantage over Black Widow. To get an idea of what she might stack up like against a larger character, here she is against the Hulk. You can see she is certainly smaller and thinner than the Hulk. That's an obvious and clear statement, but just to give you an idea of how she will stack up against your larger figures. And finally, for one more comparison, here she is backed up against our 3-pack version of Warbird, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, however you like. Again, a little bit taller only because of the hair. I think body-wise, their heads come pretty close to stacking up height-wise, so she'll definitely fit in depending on where you're going to put her. But just to give you some frame of reference, there you go. Alright folks, well there you have it. There is your Marvel Legends Strange Tales Bloodstorm from the Blackheart wave. Starting to trickle out. This is the first one I got, so I'm excited that they're coming in. This figure as I've said a few times, is aesthetically very nice. I like how she looks. I like how she's going to display. Some issues with the figure perhaps might be the single jointed elbows and the pinned knees. I'm okay with it. Doesn't really take away from the figure for me. What does take away from the figure though are the gummy knees. So she does have some pretty gummy knees. So at least on mine, legs feel very weak, and I that for me is not a good thing, right? Like it's just it takes away from the figure. It's gonna fall over. She's not gonna stand very well over time. So we'll see how that goes. You can certainly work that, if you just go and heat it up and then cool it down rapidly, should sort of harden the plastic a little bit, but even that's not a fail safe. So that is a pretty crucial thing. They also tend to break fairly easily over time too, because it just stretches that plastic very easily. So while I don't love that, I do love the look of the figure. So it's right in the middle for me. Could be better, but it definitely could be worse. So I'll take it. That's my 2 cents, folks. I don't know. It's a lot going on, but that is what it is. Do what you want with that information. I do hope that you appreciated it. I hope you got something out of the video. I appreciate you for checking it out and staying this long if you have. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.